Look, we young and we fly, don't act so surprised. We on the move and we working. We stay on the grind, Milwaukee gon' shine when we move with a purpose. 414, you already know, on the way to the top and it ain't no stopping. We got the keys, we got the tea, reporting to you live with all the hot topics. 414, ay, be the Wolfpack, 25-8, we gonna get to the bag. We some youngins on a mission, and this is just the beginning. We on a whole nother level, and you know that we winning.
Okay, you just came through with the picture. I can't say nothing. I can't say nothing.
That intro was brought to y'all by Peyton, Milwaukee's own, and Tone, man.
But you guys
hooked us up with that.
Right, you just got our live reaction to that. That was our first time seeing that.
That was lit.
I like that. Thank you,
that a
Tone.
lot, actually.
He putting us on, us out there, matching the face with the names.
Happy Monday, everybody.
It's Monday. It's March, 15th? I'm losing track
get
at
them
this point.
stimmies?
We living in the simulation. I feel like I'm getting
the Matrix?
The same thing every
It's time
day.
for the stimulator. It's time for the stimulator.
You talking about the percolator? She want her stimulator, just like me.
That's
I need my
2021.
check soon.
But how y'all feeling? How y'all doing? What y'all been up to this week?
What's up, Dorian? We gonna kick it off with you. How you doing?
Hey,
Like
man.
you got something to share.
Hey, it's just a whole lot of, it's just a whole lot of adulting going on, ups and downs, man. You already know how that be. But I'm still here. I'm happy to be here. I'll be looking forward to this. I feel like if I don't come here, my week won't be right. For real. So that's why I'm I'll be at least looking forward to this.
That's a good feeling to have.
No, for sure.
It's definitely
fuck with us.
No, if all those fails and that's all I had, that'll be enough.
Period. That's the Wolfpack vibe.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yes,
What's up with you, man?
I'm doing good, Dorian. You sound like how I was feeling last week. So if you have any hope, I hope I can give you some hope that it gets better, because I'm much better this week than I was last week.
Hey.
I was struggling a lot, but I'm in a much better space. Definitely excited to be here. I'm real geeked for the show today.
Yeah, I am too. Typical Monday vibes. Work was straight. Coming off a weekend that went by way too fast. Always. Then we lost a little hour of sleep too, so everybody a little sleepy today. But it's cool. I'm ready to get to spring break. I'm feeling good about that. It's right there.
I'm jealous. It's been midterm week for me, the beginning. So I've been a little stressed, but
we gonna pray for you.
Similar prayer for me. I'm an accounting major. So
I'm dealing with them numbers.
Yeah.
Crunching them skinnies.
Yeah. So but I'm passing so far. I got all A's so far. So we're gonna keep that up.
Count it up.
Clap it up for my best friend.
Okay. We're gonna be talking about the big corona. What is it? They said the Rona. I done heard the big COVID.
It's COVID-19. That's the official name.
The official name, but I done heard
coronavirus.
The pandemic.
Shouldn't it be COVID-21 since it's still here?
So
panorama.
Last week was the official full year of us being in this pandemic, living a different way, living a different life.
This some stuff I thought this give me what is it, Walking Dead vibes? I don't know. It just
they got us ready for this.
Because I had never thought this would have happened.
I feel like they put out so many apocalyptic movies and stuff where people getting diseases and you know what I'm saying, crazy stuff like that. And then something like this happened.
Yeah, when this started, I definitely watched World War Z.
That's what I wasn't gonna say it, but that's what I'm thinking about. And then there's plenty other movies that was in the 2000s or
and even movies about COVID came out right when it was happening, so that made me feel kind of weird. How y'all put that together that fast?
Right.
It was on a Simpsons shit. On a Simpsons predicting.
Yeah.
So since this happened pretty much a year ago, do you remember when it all changed for you, whatever that means? Do you remember can you recall whenever with me, I had to go back home. I was living in school. 700 miles away, living the best life. And then I'm like, I gotta go home.
So what was that? Was that like an email that y'all got on campus, or?
Well,
like
me personally, at the time, I was planning on going overseas for a study abroad. So I was kind of doing my research on where we was going. And this was in the beginning of February. So it wasn't even in the United States yet that something was happening. I'm like, what's this COVID virus? It was like a virus. I kept hearing virus. So I went to a college conference in North Carolina. We drove there from Arkansas to Charlotte. That was a couple state drives. So we was stopping places, going to malls. Mind you, it's a conference with a bunch of HBCUs. So it's thousands of students from everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think I actually got it because when I came back, I was sick, had temperature, couldn't breathe, chest pains. Like I was literally sick for 2 weeks. Like that was the worst like sickness I ever had in my life. I probably already had it, but like just my life coming back, getting sick. Then I was okay. And then stuff around me was closing, but my school wasn't closing. So I'm sitting here like, okay, everything closing around me. What we finna do? They like, no, we gonna stay open. We gonna stay open. My parents calling me like,
was this like a week or two? That
this was like
open.
Yeah,
like longer than
we was like a week. I would say give or take a week. Like we was still open. Like everything was business as usual. And then out of nowhere, it was like, boom, we shut down. Classes gonna be online. Like it was just like,
and I mean like dorms,
and I was an RA, so that's me trying to take care of students. On top of that, I'm like everybody, all my residents coming to me asking me what's going on. I don't know
how to handle the next step.
You know what I'm saying? So
call your mama.
That's all. That's all you really can say. And my boss, he was like, if your mama say you gotta go, you gotta go. And my dad was like, well, your flight booked, pack your stuff. And it was I left I literally packed 2 bags, and I lasted with that till May when we had to drive back and put everything in storage. So that's my whole life.
I pretty much knew that it was real. I pretty much knew it was real when they had like changed school from like in person to like online, and that was like the worst thing for me because I feel like the way that I learn, like I'm more of like a in person, like in front, like a hands-on type person. So it's like to be doing that at home, it kind of just threw everything off of me. And then like on top of that, it's just like trying to travel certain places, and they was like, oh yeah, you can't go there. Like I literally went to Miami before like spring break, and then that's when I feel like once everybody went for spring break, then it was like everything got to spiking, and they was like, oh yeah, like we closing off Miami, we doing this and we doing that. So I think that's when it really got real for me. And on top of that, I knew it was real when people was just like going crazy buying tissue and toilet paper, like it was some boo-boo.
Toilet tissue.
I swear we had to go all the way out to Woodman's to like get certain stuff, and everybody was in there with like a whole mountain full of like tissue and shit. I'm like, damn, is it like a diarrhea type vibe? But it was like, no, man, I guess I don't know, bro. I don't even know what that was about. I really feel like people was like misinformed, like for real, because like
it was a lot of just information coming out at once.
Bro, people was buying like 3 weeks of milk. Like, bro, this shit could go bad.
Yeah, it's gonna go bad. Like, you're not drinking all that milk.
Bro, I don't even like milk like that. So like, y'all going crazy.
I feel like during that time when everybody was going crazy, I was slacking because I wasn't doing any of that. You know what I'm saying?
I think I was going grocery shopping, but not like that though.
I think I'm gonna be straight. Like, I don't know what was going on, but I'm just like not in the panic, you know. So I like made sure I had like some bleach and stuff, but that was about it.
Yeah.
I just knew. I remember like I was working like part time at the Y, and it was the weekend, and then they just randomly was like, "Yeah, this our last day open." But like I work at a school though, and we had already closed down, like kind of like ASAP that first couple of days with COVID, and the country was shutting down. We shut down as a school, but the Y hadn't shut down. So I worked a couple more days, and they randomly was just like, "Yeah, we can't have people in here." Everything was shutting down. It was a Saturday, and then I was just like instantly like, damn, what am I gonna do with my time? Like that was the first thing I thought about. Like I was going to work, getting off going to work, working on the weekends.
So your life was consumed with work pretty much.
At that time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just like
nothing.
At the drop of a dime, and it's like I need to make sure I'm getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what am I finna do?
Yeah.
I feel like through that process, everybody kind of got creative and was like, "What can I do to like stay afloat during this period?" Because I mean, obviously, I got a clothing brand, so like once they closed the malls down, I felt like the demand for my stuff went up because it was like if you still out here moving and able to produce, like we finna come shop with you. So I feel like for the people that was still putting themselves in harm's way, it was a reward for you, like if you were still out here doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely seen like a spike, like for like a positive side of it. I mean, I seen a spike, but man, like I feel like to be honest, I feel like a lot of people had it before they actually knew what it was.
Yeah,
too. Like my mom, like back in it was 2020, so back in 2019, like around like Thanksgiving, my mom was sick like for like a month, like a minute, and they kept on saying like it was like a upper respiratory infection or something like that. Like they didn't really know what it was, but once like things progressed and they really figured out like, oh, this is COVID-19, she like, well, I probably could have had it this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, she worked at a bank and stuff, so like she could have been, like just being around all type of stuff that could have kept on getting her sick. So
definitely, I was in the hospital for like a full week, the week of New Year's last year. And same thing, like, oh, we think it's something with your respiratory system. Like, ran all these tests, like nothing came back. They didn't know what was wrong with me. I couldn't like eat, drink anything. Like, it's super, super sick. And then I just got some IVs and like got better. And they was just like, yeah, we don't know what was wrong. Well, I'm like, dang. And like 2 months later in March, like that's when COVID came, like full fledged. So I was like, I probably definitely had COVID.
Yeah.
And then I really got it. But that was later. Yeah. Wow.
What about you?
Yeah, it got real for me at work. One day we was having a staff meeting, and then like they started putting protocol in place and like the work from home stuff and all of that. And I was geeked. Like I was sad that people was like legit losing their lives from the virus and stuff like that. That was devastating. But I was like, work from home, that's music to my ears. Like I was like, man, I could really take my business to the next level, similar to what you said. I was able to expand, and like I put out my jogger sets around the time that happened. And like so many sales came through, like people was shopping like crazy, more than ever before. And I've had my business for 6 years. And so it was lit in the beginning, but then I had a major fall off after that. Like once like everything was shut down and people didn't have the income like that no more, like it was sad. Like
so
people
when was that time? Like, do you remember? Did you notice? Like, was it the summer or like before the summer?
It was around the time. It wasn't before the summer. Well, I don't even remember the exact timeline because I know after people was buying the jogger sets, like I was outside on the corner, like passing them out. People was picking up their order outside, so it had to be warm outside. At Brownsville Collective. Yeah, it had to be warm around that time. So I'm thinking summer, but like after. Like when school got back in session around that time, I feel like that's when the fall off happened, and I lost a lot of income for my business. I really wasn't making much at all for a while. So I think it was a lot of ups and downs during the like, especially the quarantine period when we was like stuck in the house. It was
I kind of miss quarantine because I feel like it was like a love. It was a love.
I liked it. I liked being at home, but also I lived by myself, so I felt like I was closed in them 4 walls, and I was.
Yeah,
man, I had to do something with myself.
I like being at home and being in my own space, definitely.
But
when you don't have the option, like when that's the only option, it's just like, damn, bro, I can't go to like if I do go out, like I'll go to like the homie's crib, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. Like I can't do that, or just go get some wings from my favorite wing spot, like you know what I'm saying. Like I'll do some stuff by myself. I'm big on movies, so I was hurt when the theaters got shut down. Like,
yeah, man. I honestly feel like one of the worst things is like, just for example, like if one of your loved ones got sick, that was the change. That was when it really got to hurting, when it was like, dang, like we can't have y'all come see y'all loved ones because like you know what I'm saying, you might be sick, or if anything, and you might be able to escalate their process or something like that, so they weren't really letting you see your loved ones and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of people go through that, like where it was like they loved ones just literally passed away on their own and didn't have like them last goodbyes. And I really feel like that can kind of dictate if you like if you feel like you got that support and you got your people coming to see you, I feel like that's enough to like pull you through. But it's like you going through it on your own. It's like if you weak, you just weak, and then like it's in the doctor's hand. And I feel like sometimes like the doctors don't really, you know what I'm saying? They don't really be trying to pull you out of it. It's just like if they really just go off like the state that you in. So that's like I definitely seen that a lot.
Can you pull up that question again?
It was a lot. It was a lot of stuff like that too. Like my brother had a baby during the pandemic or during that. I feel like we were still in that quarantine period and like the restrictions. Like he got a big family. His kids couldn't come see the baby in the hospital. He could barely be in there like while she was having a baby. And I just thought that was devastating. Like my sister-in-law, like they got plenty. My brother got plenty kids, and like he been there every step of the way. Every single baby he been there, and I think this time was very like challenging because they wasn't letting people in the hospital and stuff like that. And so I think from having kids, people being sick, anything that you go to the hospital for, like that whole system completely changed and shifted. I feel like life as we know it completely changed and shifted.
Yeah, my grandma, she had surgery and like nobody could go up there build her. Like it was like she was in like the hospital for a couple days by herself. Like we could just FaceTime her, and I wanted to fly out there and be with her. Couldn't even do that. Nobody could be there with her. She was by herself, but she's a soldier, so she got through it. But it was hard on her and us because we couldn't be there for her. So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So the question that popped up on the screen: what was some of the craziest conspiracy stories you heard when COVID first came?
It came from China. Like how Trump said, China. That's what he was saying. That it was the Asian, the Chinese flu, like or whatever. But I mean, I feel like this could have really just came from anywhere, from food, anything. It could have been multiple.
It was the 5G thing for me.
I heard.
Was it 5G?
Yeah, I heard the 5G.
That's what they were saying.
The towers and stuff.
No, but when they were saying that 5G stuff, my head was kind of hurting this stuff. So like I was like, hold on, maybe it was the 5G.
They had just put a 5G tower on top of the school I work at, so I was hella skeptical. Like, oh.
At first, I started doing the research on it. I'm like, hold on,
all day, every day, like. That was like the 5G towers that it was from China. That's definitely two conspiracy theories. I don't even know. Like,
I really didn't pay. I stopped watching the news when COVID
it was just
hit,
so much information
because it was just depressing. Like I stopped watching the news.
I feel like I stopped watching the news because, in my eyes, like from a standpoint where you feel like, well, I ain't got it, so you like, or you feeling like, oh, well, you be kind of feeling like, well, it ain't gonna happen to me. So I feel like I kind of was like stopping and watching news because, bro, it's COVID this, COVID that. Like you can't go here, you can't do this, you can't do that. So you was kind of disconnecting yourself from it. But once it started hitting my family members and stuff like that, and I'm like, damn, like, okay, it's serious. Like, okay, like I gotta stop being like that.
She said I kept having ringing in my ears, so I thought it was the 5G. Oh Lord, that's my auntie, by the way. Hey, TT.
Hey, TT.
But I stopped watching this because every time I turned it on, it was getting worse and worse and worse, and I'm just like, okay, when is this gonna be over? Like, I want to go back to school.
I think what it was for me too is like every time you turn on the news, they kept on saying, "Oh, numbers have spiked."
Yeah, it was nothing positive.
And I was just like, okay, like. And then it was like people was going like once they finally did start doing the tests and stuff like that, like people was like, well, I got a test this time and it was positive. Then I went to go get another test and then it was negative. So it was like, well, is it faulty testing? Like, what is it? So it's like, I don't know.
I was scared of getting COVID because I didn't want to get tested because that's when they had the ones that heard it. So people was making them videos and telling you heard it. Like it just was scaring me. So it was like, dang, if I do get now I gotta go through pain to get tested.
Yeah, I heard people was like they stuck it all to your brain and stuff. I was like, yeah.
I remember when I first went and got tested. I only went because I knew I had COVID. You know what I'm saying? So I go. And the Q-tip was long as a mug. It was like this long. You know what I'm saying? And they don't stick it to your brain, but it's just like, it's excessive.
So what do y'all think for y'all personally? Like, what's one area that you grew or something you learned about yourself during this pandemic so far? And then, like, what's one struggle that you had? Like,
me personally, since I was coming from college, I was Miss Sophomore at the time. Like, I was kind of doing
wow.
I was doing my thing at school. That was like one of my best years at school to come home and literally just sit in the house.
Mm.
Like, the only thing I could do was homework, and then I'm getting all my homework done, so I'm just watching Netflix. And after 3 weeks of chilling, I'm like, okay, what can I do? I don't want to work because I'm so scared. I was scared. I didn't get a job till like June. I was just living off my savings, and then I'm like, all right, nope, gotta get some more money back. But literally, I just felt like I wasn't doing nothing. Like, I feel like I was just wasting my time.
Mhm.
So, but it gave me opportunity to think about what I wanted. Like, I started reading more. I started my book club. Like, I started doing stuff that I didn't have the time to do, was just reading, which I love that. So I read a bunch of books. I was talking to family members that I hadn't talked to in years. It was just doing that catch up. Like, I cleaned my room, spring cleaning, all that. It was just making time to keep myself busy so I felt productive. So
Yeah.
that's what I did.
At that time when it very first hit, like I was staying with my grandma, so like everything in that sense was different because Grams like she put an emphasis on it because it's like bro she like don't bring that back here,
Yeah.
and
For
like
sure.
knowing like I love Grams, like I ain't trying to get Grams sick because that's gonna hurt you at the end of the day, but we young, we busybodies and stuff like that, so we don't really want to sit down. I feel like I lost a major aspect of my life, like when COVID happened, because like I wasn't really like a out here partying, club kicking it, but like basketball, like the sports and stuff going in, like the Bucks games, that was something I was doing like frequently. So like when that happened, not having sports, that I really feel like that was one of the worst parts of this is just losing that type
Losing
of stuff.
sports.
Yes, like because we
That
didn't
was
have
trash.
we didn't
Yeah.
have nothing.
That
Like
was
we
super
really
trash.
like I don't watch regular TV. Like I
Yeah.
don't. So it's like not having sports and stuff like that. I feel like that was a major aspect of my life, not being able to debate the stuff with the guys. Like you literally got to go back.
It's really shut down.
Yeah, like you got to go back and watch months of like old clips and stuff talking about old debates. Like
You on YouTube like a mug. That's what you doing on YouTube.
Bro, so I wasn't feeling that, but through it all, like I feel like it kind of just made me more creative, made me get deeper into like who I am as a person. Like I mean, I'm a nature guy, so like if I could, like I'd just go to the park, like try to get out, try to keep my head up. Cause like just being in the house all day, that was different for me.
And you probably definitely had like more time to do that in the quarantine too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think like for me, I did the same. Like I had way more time to do stuff that I feel like I haven't had time to do in years. Like I did like 3 puzzles. You know what I'm saying?
Good big puzzle.
Yeah, like like 1,000 piece, 500 piece.
Oh, them
like some
puzzles
big,
take me and my boyfriend do when they take like 2-3
like
hours.
just go to it and come back. Like I read a couple books this year when I was slacking on my reading big time. And then like just planning too, like really figuring out what I'm trying to do with my life and what I need to do to get there. So I made, plans and short-term goals, check some things off my list to this point. And I think that was like one of the positives because I like got to sit down and you kind of don't have no other choice but to like think about what you got going on. Like that quarantine set you down real.
I feel like it gave a lot of people time to think.
Yeah.
And sometimes them thoughts wasn't what you thought they was gonna be when you
for real.
Like no, for real.
You gotta face your own thoughts too. So like you get a lot of clarity on stuff. I was able to think stuff through, think about stuff about how I went wrong in the past. So it was good in those ways.
Yeah.
But mental health wise, like how was it at times for y'all?
It was a struggle for me for sure. Like that depression started to kick in, just those feelings of just uncertainty. Like I'm a control freak when it comes to my personal life and when it comes to structure and all of that stuff. Like I just be feeling like I want to have so much control, and quarantine and COVID made me content with letting go of like control and just saying, what happens, and I have to just be, I got to relax and breathe and accept life for what it is right now because it was literally out of my control, everything that was happening. So I struggled a lot mentally. Like it's like, especially like in the beginning, my mom kept losing her friends to COVID. Like, and then that made me nervous about my own parents. I'm like, they getting up there in age. I was just like, this is nerve wracking. But at the same time, I was trying to stay positive and optimistic about it. And I tried to make sure I was consistent with scheduling like my therapy appointments and stuff like that. Like before COVID, I was way more consistent. And once COVID, like once we was in quarantine for a while, I kind of stopped going to my therapy sessions, and that became apparent. Like my emotions was like out of control. Like I feel like I was having mental breakdowns, like getting stressed out with work because the expectations and responsibilities at work didn't decrease. Like I feel like we had more work to do because they like, y'all working from home,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
do all the things. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I was just really, really exhausted all the time. So I struggle a lot mentally, but I feel like quarantine also put me in a position to acknowledge the emotions and feelings that I was having and just like tackle them head on.
Yeah, I feel like I definitely it was definitely a big change for me because I mean, like being able to move so much and then not having to move, I got to work on saving, like, and that was like big for me because like I could like back then before this I could spend money as soon as I still can now that we back moving, but it's like when I didn't have that choice, like I seen my money growing like how I never seen it grow before, all type of stuff. So like in a way I was definitely like grateful, but like mental health wise, like just sitting there, like I had went through a point like where I wasn't playing video games and stuff, but I had to buy me a game because I'm just like I need something to do. Like you know what I'm saying? I need to be able to connect with my guys. Like we all in the crib, you all on the game. All right, I'm finna get a game so we can at least be still connected in some way. It's like I can't come pull up on y'all, especially like my best friend Tajon. You know, I mean, Deshaun, my best friend, Tajon, my best friend. Like his my best friend Tajon, his mom, his stepmom has sickle cell and stuff like that. So like she was more susceptible to the stuff that was going on. So like she was really strict. Like, no, we can't even have you over here. And she was like, you like my son. So she was like, that don't make me feel good. But she was just like, you know, like I'm more like likely to get it. So she was like, she wasn't even letting me come over. So that was something big. So I really had to just find something to do. I couldn't even hang out with the people
that you normally
like it's just like stuff was different. Like you really had to find those friends that was like, okay, we gonna get around this or whatever. But most people wasn't even trying to chance it, so you just really had to find other stuff to do with your time and stuff like that. So
I definitely started playing way more Xbox this year. Like
I started working out. I was working out real heavily, but I was real mad. I was mad. I felt like I was supposed to go out overseas, you know, study abroad. Like I had an internship, 2 internships at that. My summer was gonna be lit, and then everything just changed in like 3 days. Like
my sister, this is her sophomore year. Yeah,
I'm a junior
at Alabama State, and she
all
expressed
my friends,
the same thing.
All my friends, especially my friends, like people that I literally was with.
It was right before spring break trip.
Yeah,
it's like the year you getting into your groove. You gotta come home.
I had my family, like my God family, like I hadn't seen them. Like it was just like literally, I was just uprooted from my life because I was.
And it's not even like you can come home and see your people. Like
no,
you coming home and sit in
the house. Like I've been gone for this long and I still can't even see my people. I'm home, and then when I was at school at the time, my parents had moved, so I was coming home to a new house, like a new apartment. So I'm like, so I literally my room was still boxed up, so I came home with suitcases and boxes. But so it was just like my mission really was to fix my room, which I did. That was my quarantine project. Like I bought a bookcase, a desk, like TV, like because I ain't had nothing. I had took everything with me at school, but I didn't bring it back. So I had to buy clothes, all that. Like,
so how do y'all feel about everything now? So like we done been through the quarantine phase. Like clearly we not everything still. It's not lifted. It's not like we can just go do anything we want right now. Like there's still some restrictions in place. How do y'all feel about the current conditions of the COVID world we living in?
I feel like it could have been over with. I feel like it could have been done.
We ain't never going back.
But they don't. It's like it's stuff still open. Like these clubs and these bars and stuff, they ain't stopped at all. Like they the ones
like
making Atlanta is open. Milwaukee open too at this point. Like, and then it's like people don't even wear masks no more. Like at this point, everything is just open. And I feel like they wonder why we keep getting cases. Yeah, the vaccine's gonna come out, but if y'all still not being cautious,
y'all taking the vaccine.
Get rid of COVID either.
Right, exactly.
Y'all taking it? Dang, everybody gave me a look. Man, I wish I could.
Carolyn.
That's my grandma. Hey, grandma.
Hey, granny.
But I feel like
I feel like they're
I-
not giving enough conclusive evidence about anything.
like it's
I'm not taking
for me
it.
to
I was-
do
I'm
anything.
sorry.
I'm gonna say
I'm not
this.
sorry.
I was pissed that I kind of was mad.
I feel
'cause,
like-
my grandma took it,
Mhm.
and I, you know me, I'm kind of like my own little conspiracy theorist myself. So like, I was scared, bro. Like, damn, Gramps.
Like, no,
I'm like, damn, Gramps, why you? Like,
Yeah,
you know,
my dad got it.
my grandma, she done got her first and her second dose already.
Mhm.
And like from what I know, she been still feeling good and doing,
Yeah.
like she all right. So I mean, but it was just like it was one of those things. I'm like, damn, man, like I don't want my grandma to be the one to go through it if that's what's going on. So
I
like,
feel my opinion on the vaccine is if it's gonna help you stay alive and stay healthy, take it.
Yeah, take
Like I know my grandparents took it, my dad took it. Like I know people in my family that have taken it or are going to take it, and they probably need it. That's gonna keep them safe. So
yeah.
if it's gonna keep you safe, go for it. Now, me personally, I need to do my research. I haven't even looked at what the ingredient. I have a lot of allergies, so I need to look at this.
sea squirt. One of the vaccines got sea squirt in it. What's that?
Look at his face, bro.
Wait, why you?
He's so serious,
And I'm
dude.
so like,
I
see.
looked it up.
So at this moment, I cannot say yes or no.
The
'cause I have to
Johnson
get my
and Johnson vaccine got clone cells and abortion cells.
What?
Am I saying that right? Stem cells.
Here you go.
Maybe I said that wrong.
You said
Anyways, I'm not putting it inside of me, but like stem cells are good for you. I don't know what a clone cell
But-
is.
how? Okay, so
Yeah, I'm not using that.
what? How do you
No
feel about?
clone.
Okay, after everybody ends, what?
Uncle Tone,
Yeah,
y'all hear
sea
Uncle
squirt.
Uncle
Tone?
Tone.
Exactly.
Uncle T.
Oh, it's,
No.
yes.
I
Well,
didn't
I
know.
got the first one, but I didn't get the second and the
I got.
third.
Ooh,
I ain't
got both
getting
of them.
nan one of them, and I'm working on it right now.
I just got both of them.
I keep on seeing all these
I just
stimulus
want a
jokes.
stimmy,
and it's
Jimmy.
been hurting my feelings.
I got both of them.
Somebody said, I'm gonna go to Five Guys to ask for the sixth guy. I'm like, what?
But nah,
Going crazy.
I was surprised that I got it.
You might not have got stimulated, but your parents might got stimulated for you.
This is my first year filing myself.
Wait.
Ooh.
He said, huh?
Do I need to?
Y'all technically young enough that y'all could still.
Wait, what's the young enough?
Y'all.
No,
Not
but
me.
they count
Not
to 17. No, yeah, 17, not 18 and other.
But it's with the information.
It's on
Yeah.
the taxes though.
Yeah.
Yeah. If she
I'm
claims
about to
the
ride. I'm
taxes-
about to ride down
I'm
on
technically
mine.
in the eyes of the
I'm
law,
about to
I'm a
ride down.
grown single.
Wait, so I'm in this
individual.
age bracket, so I need to call my parents. and
No,
see.
you older. You
You
Oh,
ain't
okay, I was
getting
about to
claimed.
say.
You by
No.
yourself.
How that mom still say?
But,
I'm gonna have to holler at
Them
mine.
Last time I checked, I was grown.
I heard though that they ain't they not for they not the check date is for Wednesday.
Oh, mine deposited.
I know
before.
some people got theirs
No,
early,
it
but I'm
depends on
keeping
your
hope
bank.
alive.
Like
That's
Wells
all I'm
Fargo, I
saying.
know they haven't posted, but like educators,
Bro,
most
I
likely
just
educators.
seen my guy go 3 for 3. Like he got okay, so he got his taxes, he got the other two stimmies, and then his stimmy, the new stimmy,
Yeah.
right back.
Yes.
I said, boy, you
Yes,
Yo, real quick,
Man,
yes, I got mine
I
both,
was like-
all three of them. in a
real
week.
quick. I don't want nobody to get robbed, so don't
I ain't
keep
say-
talking about y'all stimmies. Hey, real quick though,
I'm blessed by
is they
God
trying to
himself.
change our DNA with these cells that they putting in the vaccine?
You must be looking at the notes.
This is my real question though. This is why I don't like. Why are they putting clone cells in the vaccine? What is they doing for it?
Like I said, I gotta do my research. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't speak on ingredients. I need to.
sea squirt. that's a whole new like thing.
I-
So
Why
y'all
gotta
know
start saying that
y'all know
randomly
those
on the show?
things in the ocean. That's like they look like sponges and they like stuck to stuff, right?
No,
and they shoot out like
I'm-
colorful.
yeah, I know.
stuff.
That's
right?
what's in the vaccine.
That's
for
a
COVID?
sea squirt.
That's in a COVID vaccine.
But you know what I've been hearing is that it's probably a lot of stuff in the
What's
ocean
in
that can cure some stuff.
But who
so.
said that though?
Hey, I mean, I
Who
be
said
watching
that?
stuff too. Go ahead, do your little research, man. It's right, bro. We don't know that much about that.
I go to sleep when I'm sick, man.
Hey, I mean,
Nobody.
And I had COVID, and guess what I did? Went to sleep. Not saying that, you know, and I'm younger, and I know that I'm in a healthier body. So I'm with Deshaun on this. Like, if you are older, you got health conditions where the vaccine, you know, you need it
Yeah,
to have the higher percentage of not getting it and not spreading it.
yeah, because
Um,
it's a lot of people that lost their
yeah.
lives and never got the chance to
I
take
honestly
it.
don't
So
plan on getting it until
rest
it's
in
a
peace
travel
to
ban.
those
When they
who
say you can't
were
get on no
affected.
flight, then I'll get it.
no,
I'm still not taking it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Overall, I just
Straight like
feel
that?
Just not taking it.
No C-score for
Okay,
her.
now somebody said, now what if your job require you to have it?
See, everybody at my job has taken it except me. Literally, they didn't require it, but they did advocate for it, and they wanted everybody to take it. But like you said, research is a huge part of it. I haven't done my research yet, and I need to do that. And at the same time, I'm a
like
conspiracy theorist, low key, like in my head, and
I know it don't work like
trust
that,
the
but like I
systems that's
wish
in
if
place.
everybody else did
Oh,
it,
you
I
know
don't
we don't
need
play
it.
that.
You
You know we ain't
vaccinated?
playing that. Whatever they doing, we ain't playing that time.
Whatever it is.
I can't go to Mexico unless I take it.
Really? Mexico requiring it?
Yeah, you can't go across.
I told you they finna put a travel ban.
For how
on
long?
it.
Forever?
And I got my passport and it gotta get used. So I'm gonna get it soon.
No,
but it's
when I-
like
Wait, I can't
I
leave
guess I ain't
country.
going
I'm gonna
nowhere
hold
then.
it off.
That's like, I
that's
feel-
probably one of the most.
But you
stressful
got
parts.
you know why though? Cause we dirty. It's because we
Who dirty?
us.
Who is we?
The US, us as in the US. Cause like look. No, for real. Look. Hey, look, for real though. Look, everybody else did a strict shutdown, like Italy. They literally shut down, and in 2 weeks, like they nature was like refurbished.
But you gotta
like
think- you
everything
gotta
was
think about
different because
Italy.
they actually
Their
followed
government
the
is
rules.
different.
Like,
No, Italy, they
yeah,
got
our
one of the weakest
government-
health systems.
our
too, though,
government
so they
fumbled
gotta
the
take it
ball
more
with handling
serious.
COVID,
They
for
get-
sure.
It's
But
raps,
Italy,
but-
don't they have like a higher elderly population?
But I'm saying the other
country completely shut down.
Except,
the other countries are looking at us like we dirty. That's
No,
what I'm
I
saying.
ain't gonna lie. When I had for example, when I had went to Puerto Rico over the summer, when I had went in July, it was only like 40 cases there. So it wasn't it wasn't as big as it was here, but because everywhere you went in Puerto Rico, you had to have a mask. They was at the door checking your temperature. Before we when we got there to go to the hotel, they had a whole little face scan thing. Before you go in the hotel, check your face right here, and we gonna know if your temperature's too high. If it's too high, when you get up in there, you gonna have to stay up in there. So man, and I ain't gonna lie, it was one time when I had left the hotel and it's I'm outside walking with my shirt off, sun beaming on me, everything. And it's I got back and my temperature was kind of high because it's you hot, you outside, you hot. So it was wasn't nobody at the door though, so I snuck in. But I was just saying though,
But no, somebody said that's like the flu shot. I feel like the travel ban is kind of them with schools, when you go to school, if you don't get your shot, you can't go to school. I feel like they're trying to force your hand, force your hand. I don't like that part.
Just saying.
I guess I just ain't going then.
Shit.
Yeah, you
I
ain't
don't
going
know.
nowhere.
After I
You
get
ain't
that,
going
Me and my
nowhere.
dogs be straight at the crib. I'm telling you, I don't mind.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
you got 50 states to enjoy.
Shit.
Damn, they're not. Wait till the state start saying you can't come without a damn what. Because this gonna happen.
I'll be
It's
last.
a lot of states that if you go there, bro, they just be trying to have you quarantine for bro. I done heard a lot of people go out of town to certain places and they be bro, we had to stay in a room for plenty days and they trip.
And then you gotta do it when you get back too. But people can lose their jobs over that. I just got back from such and such. Now I got a quarantine. All right, well, you can't be here for 10 days.
Yep.
We finna let you go.
My friend worked at a school and he had to quarantine for 10 days. And he was just what could he really do during that time? He was trying to do some side hustles and stuff like that, but they legit, and it's not optional. Fam, you can't come to work for 10 days. That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, and then when I thought I had it in one of my jobs, they was well, if you don't have symptoms, you can come. I said, what? She was well, if you're not displaying symptoms, you can still show up to work. I said,
that's dirty. You see how dirty we is? It's because America's so greedy.
And it was, thank God I didn't have it.
Paid,
but it was just the fact that, really?
More than they want paper, though. They want labor. I think America wants you to work more
even
than
if
they
you
want to
sick,
make money. It don't even matter. Just
I ain't
work.
gonna lie,
just keep working.
When all of this started,
Saturday
my
work.
brother had just got a promotion at his job. They laid him off.
Dang.
They laid him off and was oh well, we gonna if it get better, we'll call y'all back. They never called back.
So a lot of businesses were shutting down. That was sad. A lot of family businesses had to shut down. I feel so bad.
And we can't skip over that because I know one of the biggest things for me, I didn't I told y'all my first thing was damn how I'm gonna make my money. I was blessed that I got a job that kept paying me through the whole pandemic. Whether we I work at a school, so we open now and we been open since September. But when we wasn't open, I was getting paid. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? And through the summer, man,
That's a blessing.
I don't remember how I really made my money, but
You made it.
I made it through. My bills was paid. I took
Amen.
a
Won't you
trip or
do it?
two, a couple. You know what I'm saying? And like,
Stimulate.
so yeah, I was blessed, and everybody didn't have that
Luxury.
luxury at all. People were
all.
losing,
And I feel
throughout the whole year.
I definitely prayed a lot during
Me?
quarantine. I prayed.
Me personally, I was just like, I ain't gonna lie, because I feel like at the time when it all started, my business was just taking off. Like that's what I really felt. Like I felt like, dog, like why? Like why now, bro? So it was kind of like I was just biting the bullet. Like I'm like, bro, at this point, if I get sick, I'm risking it because I'm like, bro, this is my only income right now too. So I'm like, while it's bubbling, I just want to keep on bubbling. Like, so like the least that I was doing, I was keeping my I was doing dropping stuff off, but you know what I'm saying? It was just like, hey.
Then it kind of rolled right into where everybody, well, in our community, in the Black community, kind of started boycotting bigger companies and started buying Black. So I know that kind of helped. I mean, we not. I mean, like as far as that.
No, I was about to say
time period helping their businesses.
No, I was saying. Then when you said that, it just made me think we can't forget to talk about the Black Lives Matter movement and all that stuff.
It was like peak racial injustice happening during that time.
You brought up a good point.
And that vote, like it was voting and everything.
An election, all that.
Dang, plenty stuff was happening.
So conspiracy. I think the biggest one that we should point out. Do you think COVID happened because it's an election year and
they say
we have
something
bad happened during election years? Whether
I feel like that it definitely was to deter a lot of people from going because they like, oh, it's gonna be a big gathering and stuff like that. But
in this lines,
it was so serious to get dude up out of office, bro. It was like, bro,
we had to.
Bro, people. What was crazy was Milwaukee was one of the deciding states. I mean, Wisconsin was one of the deciding states.
I feel like it was an emphasis on like after all the racial justice, it was like, okay, now y'all see what we had to go through the summer. Just keep this momentum going and go out there and vote. Like, let's make a difference. Actually, I feel like it was an emphasis on going out and voting. Like, don't say vote, go vote. Actually, do it and tell your people to go vote. And we came through. I feel like
it's crazy that we really like living through some history books right now. Like, this gonna be a chapter. Like,
I had a different view on that.
Oh. What show we?
We might have to get in a different episode.
No,
come on.
We got 15 minutes left. Come on.
We do, but y'all ain't gonna, we're gonna have to go into it because y'all ain't gonna like what I got to say.
You give us a little snippet.
You gonna ruffle some feathers.
This was the first year that I didn't vote, that I was able to.
I seen a lot of your tweets. I'm curious.
So this your first year voting?
No.
First year
not voting.
This is my first year not voting since I was able to vote. So
my
first year voting was my senior year in high school. I was 18. Mm-hmm. So of course this was Obama's second term. Mm-hmm. Of course, my mom. Come on, man. My mom let me, skip school to go vote that day. Of course, I happily went and voted.
To skip school?
Huh?
To skip school?
No, to go vote for Obama.
This is my first presidential.
And like I had seen him be the president, but like it was my first time voting, and I got to vote for him and put him back in office. So that was big for me. And then my second time I voted, but I felt like my vote didn't matter when I went and voted that time. That was Hillary and Trump race.
Mm-hmm. I have a lot to say.
I voted for Bernie in that one.
Yeah.
Does my vote really matter?
Yeah.
We should bring somebody in too.
Got to.
We're gonna have to bring David Bowen up in here. David Bowen. Y'all know who David Bowen is? A local,
Who's that?
Y'all need to know who y'all local electeds are.
No,
I don't know all of them. So let me stop playing. I just know the ones that.
The reason why I'm not, because I was in Arkansas for 3 years, so I'm aware with Arkansas registered because I was directly dealing with my school, so I had to be informed with the politicians down there.
I'm just playing with y'all. I don't know all of them.
The last couple years, I was a registered voter in Arkansas. This is my first.
I actually got I know David Crowley. I got a friend.
I don't know nobody in Wisconsin.
He works in politics, so
I didn't even vote.
Darren, we need to bring Darren in. He running for office right now.
We got Kaylin Haywood.
Kevin Haywood.
Yeah, that's our friend from high school. Yeah.
while that's good,
I got him right now.
that is totally different from why I didn't vote in a presidential election.
Yeah,
I vote in local elections when
Yeah.
I'm informed. Not all the time. I try to, but I presidential election, I don't look at them as the same. So yeah,
David Bone was actually tuning in earlier in the show, so shout out to him.
Shout out to him.
We got
Shout out,
Alexis
David.
watching our podcast. Y'all, it's lit.
I just texted him.
What up?
What did you take away
We don't have control. That's what I took. What Uncle Tone asked, what did we take away from the pandemic, and like as our whole, our summary. And I just feel like we don't have control. So like for me, that could mean a lot of things. That can mean be ready for certain things, be ready for emergencies, save money, live every day, or aim to live every day, because we all have our days where you are being productive and living in something that you want to do at least. I think all of those things are important because we don't really have control of when something crazy can happen, when a natural disaster can happen, even if it's not as natural as we think it is or they say it is. Like, that's my takeaway. You can't control everything, so you gotta live like it.
My takeaway was try to always kind of have something going on the side, even if it's just like just another stream of income that's not like a work or something like that. Like I just feel like what I learned was not to be like one dimensional, like and just dig in your bag, really get in your bag and find what you can do. Cause hey, I started cooking. Somebody had hit me up, was like, "Hey man, that look good." Like they came and got some plates. So it was like, hey, and that was like my first time really doing that. But it kind of was like, dang, it opened my eyes. Like, bro, I can really do some extra stuff.
Really be doing anything
and get some money. So it's like, hey, cutting grass, right, doing anything. Like it's just like expanding on stuff that you wouldn't usually do, but it's like it's there for you to do. Like so,
and keep that there.
Yeah, and just keep that there, because I'm telling you, like stuff like this, I feel like it just brought the hustle out of a lot of people. Like if it's like, and that was very beneficial to me. Like it's just finding more ways to keep yourself going.
I definitely seen that too.
For me, I would say the penny definitely taught me the value of social media and just giving people their flowers while they're here, because so many people lost their lives, like not even just because of the pandemic, but losing your life during a pandemic from something completely not related to the pandemic was wild to me too. Like with the racial injustice and police brutality, like people losing their lives to that during this time period. All of that was just like crazy to me. But definitely the power of social media is one of those things that I tapped into. Like I was already looking into like improving my marketing skills and engaging my my customers and just like the people who support me as a person. And like right now at this point, I'm like managing 10 different social media pages, like between my personal social media, my business social media, now the podcast, my dogs, man, like my dogs got their own page. Shout out to them, follow my dogs. But I really enjoy it. Like literally, just being able to tap into different networks and just running different social media pages. And like value of social media, not just if you run a business, like just creating and developing your brand for those side hustles and different things like that. Like you never know how valuable your story, your message, and the stuff that you share could be to other people. So just tapping into that is so super important, because people who didn't know nothing about social media really struggled during this pandemic, because like older people who like, man, technology is too much, I'm not doing that. During this time you really had to lean on social media and lean on technology to really benefit in certain ways and stay connected. Like for sure.
No, for sure though, because I found it crazy like how many people like during the pandemic was like tapping in from out of state, like during like into my stuff, and I'm like, dang, like
because you got so many people just had time.
Man, if we ain't had nothing, we had time, so for sure.
I do know a lot of. Oh my bad. Go ahead.
Sure. Okay. No, the pandemic definitely. I had a lot of time to just reflect. Like I did a lot of reflecting. I did a lot of praying, like definitely, because it was like you didn't know what was next. Because every time you looked, it was something else. I didn't know if I was going back to school or so. At one point, I just was like, I can't keep stressing myself out about the unknown or like you said, stuff you couldn't control. So I was just praying and just occupying my mind outside of TV and my phone because I was on my phone for like 20 hours a day sometimes, and I was like, that is ridiculous. So like I had to, like I said, pick up a book or go for a walk or talk to my cousins that I ain't talked to in years. You know, like you had to kind of occupy your mind. I was doing my mentor, she's just coloring like that. You stuff like that. You don't realize how like just not thinking and just being stress free at a moment in time can help. So it's just learning ways to occupy my time in productive ways.
Yeah,
too.
I know people that was like in like like that was going to church. I know that was like a big like change for them, just not being able to go like praise and be in the house and stuff like that. So
That was
like,
definitely
people was going to virtual
I went to
services.
church. I went to church on a regular basis in Arkansas because my godparents, they own their own church. So I was in church every Sunday. So just coming home and then church is closed. So it's like I don't have a church family here or nowhere to go.
Never even really have heard of church closing before.
Yeah,
like, that was totally different in itself. So next week we gonna hit y'all with what? Some election talk, some relationship talk.
I kind of want
y'all
to see what y'all gonna say about the show. I want y'all to get some input.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do a lot of promoting this week and reaching out to y'all, doing some polls and seeing what y'all want to hear us talk about next.
Yeah.
I think we need to pick a lit topic. Like I enjoyed this for sure. We got serious, it got real, but I'm ready for us to talk about something like controversial, something that's gonna like get us some viewers and people that like
I want to
got some different
Niggas in
opinions
trouble.
than us.
That's what it sounds
I'm
like.
trying to ruffle a couple feathers.
Exactly, like that show right there, Ruffle Feathers.
Shout out to
We should do a couple.
our
We
teammate
should hit
Ruffle
them up and do
Feathers.
something with them.
I need to be a guest.
But definitely hit us up, y'all, and let us know what y'all want to hear us talk about next. Twitter, hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and let us know.
Yeah.
At our pages, go comment. We're gonna be posting. We'll see y'all next week. Love y'all.
Y'all be safe.
We out.